In this episode of OG55, we got John from the Artistry Drop. We're talking all
Let's
about
go.
content creation. We're talking about just all kinds of stuff in regards to content creation. It's gonna be a lot of fun. First time on the channel. I also got the Italiano with me up next on OG55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. This episode is all about content creation, becoming a podcaster, and all that good stuff. But before we get started, John, welcome to the channel. It's awesome having you on, sir.
Thank you, man. I'm a pleasure to be here. You know, it's a long time coming. I know we've been following each other for a minute, so glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can let everybody home know where they can find you on social media, where they can find you guys on the Artistry Drop, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you know, I'm a videographer, photographer based here out in LA. My handle is John.Sundara. That's my personal channel. My business channel for videography events is J Sundara Media, and I cover a lot of festivals, concert events, and just anything pretty much. But yeah, and then me and my boy Corey, we have a podcast called The Artistry Drop. You can find us at The Artistry Drop on YouTube, Instagram. Pretty much everywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, and things like that. So, yeah, we're going on like 3 years now, deep into the podcast. You know, we used to, excuse me, we used to interview guests and bring up up and coming artists and get their backstory and hope to inspire other people. And wasn't really getting us, you know, where we wanted to be. So we kind of took a shift, and now we're out doing street interviews, you know, doing more viral-ish content to really get out there, but also still hone into our crowd. So instead of having guests on the podcast, it's just me and Corey talking about trending topics and still being us at the end of the day, but also doing the street interviews. And we have a series out on YouTube called Hot or Not, where we go up to random people and we bring on artists and we just get their feedback on a song. And what they don't know is that the artist is with us the whole time. So we get their reaction, and it's a fun vibe. And the artist who survives all the rounds at the end gets a full-on free music video for us. So yeah, that's the hot or not on the Artistry Drop on YouTube.
Interesting, because like as you started describing the hot or not, I thought like when you said that we walk up to people, I thought literally you were walking up to people telling them if they were hot or not.
Okay, yeah. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. We are thinking about like going to like bars and stuff like that to get like, you know, drunk people's reactions, you know, because that's like the most natural way to, you know, go viral. You know, you catch people like, you know, the Hawk Tool girl is just at a random bar or club afterwards, and then boom, it went crazy. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I'll be linking everything down below in the description, so make sure you support John and everything they do over there at the Artistry Drop. I've been a fan of theirs for a really, really long time, and they do great work. And the thing I love about you, John and Corey, is you guys have that. Like it kind of reminds me of like George and I. Like we're really close, and I can tell you and Corey are really close, like off camera, and it definitely, I think that definitely bleeds into your work. You know, you can feel that chemistry, which I love. You know.
Oh yeah, how long have you guys known each other?
Oh, it's been since like 2019. I want to say, George.
Yeah, 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and when did you guys start this?
Well, maybe a little bit before, maybe 2018. When I started watching Orange Grove 55 from the very beginning, from the very first time he did his first show talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. That was his first show. Yeah, and I just watched him like throughout the, you know, the years and everything. And then I tweeted him a question for one of his Q&As, and he was one of the only people that got my last name right. So we just
I'm a fellow Italian, John, so I got the falcione correct. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, so we started talking on social media and everything, and at a time I was part of another podcast. I asked him to come on as a guest. Then I started as a guest, and then we just became really good friends, and then I became part of Orange Grove 55.
Yeah.
Nice. Been history ever since.
Ever since.
You
So
guys
so
are
what,
hard.
so what about you, John? So how did you get into this content creation game? What's your backstory?
So at first, I never knew I would be here. I started off, being as a dancer. I used to dance all throughout high school, won talent show at my high school all 4 years and created a dance crew and, went out for battles, performings and judging and all that. So I was very in tune with the dance side of things. And it wasn't until I met Corey back in, what was it? Maybe 2014, 2015. It's been a long time. And we needed somebody to shoot our dance video. And my boy knew Corey, and he was like, "Hey, I know this videographer. We should have him to shoot our video." So we shot the video, and on that video, I actually came first, and it was just me and Corey there. We were waiting for my boy to come. And so me and Corey just started chopping it up. And then ever since then, like we just been hanging out, kicking it. And Corey was a videographer, and I've always been like intrigued with, videography, photography, but I could never afford my own camera. So I actually was starting to borrow his camera, and he was basically training me and showing me how to do shoots and how to operate a camera, because he was actually going to, at this time, Seattle Art Institute. So I was basically getting like a free education at that point. Yeah. Then he was just, we started shooting models together. And then I could finally like afford my own camera. So I bought my own, and then we would go on shoots together, do music videos. So we've been working all throughout Seattle for many years. And then it's always been Corey's dream to move down to LA and pursue videography, but it wasn't really mine. So it took me a while to want to move to LA. He was the one who kind of brought it up to me, saying like, "Oh, we should go all in on this," Yeah. And I was like, shoot, that's a big jump. I gotta leave my family, I gotta leave my friends, I gotta drop everything. I don't know anybody in LA. I've only visited once when I was a kid. Wow. So I was like, yo, I don't know, that's a lot to take in. Am I ready for that jump? So it took me about like 2 years to finally like, okay, maybe I can do it. And I finally made the jump in 2019, right before COVID. And yeah, the rest is history. Ever since then, I've been already kind of making my name for myself back in Seattle. So going out into LA, I was already, familiar with my work and, confident in my work. But ever since then, like opportunities just started coming, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm here.
And that's a beautiful story, John, because like you were saying, like you didn't know anybody out here. Like you've only been down here one time, right? And it's like, so that's a huge change for you. You took a huge jump for that, like a huge risk on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I respect that a lot, because it takes a lot of guts. A lot of people aren't really like willing, or they're scared to sort of make that jump. They're afraid of doing stuff they really want to pursue, because what happens and the what if stuff starts going into your head or whatever.
Right.
But that was really cool that you did that, and it paid off. You know what I'm saying? You met a lot of great players, working with Corey and all that. So that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
Yeah, because I was kind of in the same boat. Like even like right now, I'm currently in Pennsylvania, but I'm looking into moving into California.
Yeah, you can really tell John when he's from PA once he starts saying certain words like downtown.
yeah, you'll hear my Pittsburgh accent for sure. But yes, I'm thinking about moving to California and everything. Everyone that I know is over there. My best friend's over there. My girlfriend's over there, and then Disney, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then people say, well, you grew up in Pennsylvania. You were there your whole life, born and raised. It's like, yeah, I have a lot of great memories, grew up here. My childhood is here, to see all the scenery of what I grew up with. I'm like, how does next year, son?
Yeah. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to move to Cali.
Yeah, so you're going to do it. You pulled the plug.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, so my only advice is make sure you got a job lined up, because shit is expensive.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I got that kind of covered, which that's what was delaying me to try to figure out like what I was doing. But I kind of got that covered, which is going to help allow me to move faster than anticipated. Plus, with my girlfriend now over there as well.
Which was interesting, because his girl, when he was down here recently, his girl took him for the first time to Jollibee's. right?
Oh yeah,
Jollibee's, and she got him to try the was it Filipino spaghetti? It was.
Yeah, the Jolly Spaghetti. Yeah.
Oh
With
yeah,
the
sweet spaghetti.
yeah, and George like fell in love with it. That was like you were like, okay, now
Yeah.
I'm really moving to California.
Well, yeah,
Right.
because as I said, like that was kind of like a little bit like sacrilege right there, because being an Italian, like having this kind of like
It's not
sweet,
supposed to be sweet.
it's not supposed to be sweet. Yeah, and she said,
Right.
you know, they mix it with banana ketchup. I'm like, what the fuck is banana ketchup? Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. Like, and she said, you gotta try it and everything. I'm like, so we're having this conversation actually at Disneyland. We're waiting for Fantasmic, and we literally talked
Okay.
a whole hour about banana ketchup because I'm
Wow.
like trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And it has little cut up hot dog in it and everything. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
what is it? And I'm thinking, and
What
literally,
kind
I
of
ate that
poor
whole-
man spaghetti is this?
Yes, exactly. And I ate that whole thing by myself. I didn't even save her any.
Wow. You know,
That's
fun fact about that banana ketchup is actually getting recalled right now. I saw that they're
Really?
banning it in certain states, yeah, because of some chemicals or yeah, some ingredients in there is not FDA approved or something like that. So California is still selling it.
I think I've heard that because they said, I don't know if it was on Jollibee, but there was a sign that says like certain ingredients can cause like cancer or
Oh,
something
wow.
or other. Yeah, but Lord knows everything else we put in our mouth. Like
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, John, I want to pick your brain a little bit. So, so you got into this podcasting thing with Corey, right? You guys are having you guys did this a few years ago. What are your like? What's some of the good, like? There's with content creation, right?
Yeah.
There's like the good and the bad side of it, right? There's the highs are really high, but sometimes the lows are really low. Like, what's your take on just overall, like just getting into this game and like what you've been through personally with this, you know, the good and the bad?
Okay. Yeah. The good is, you know, of course it's like rewarding, you know, if you love what you do, you know, you see the results, it starts picking up and then you're like, man, that grind is paying off and you want to create more. But you know, the hard part is, you know, of course, like being consistent, especially if you're, you know, have a 9 to 5. You know, I still have a 9 to 5. I'm not a full-time content creator, so it's hard to find that balance of like working Monday to Friday, shooting on the weekends, and then also editing throughout the week. Like it's like, you know, having 2 jobs at once, and then finding personal time, you know, for your own life, and finding time for the gym if you go to the gym. You know, having all these things and balancing all that while maintaining a schedule of like content creation. And I'm sure you guys, you know, have that same struggle, you know. And so yeah, really just like being consistent with it, and you know, finding that time, finding that balance is always like a struggle, but you just have to remind yourself that like the struggle is going to pay off, and that's what the drive is, and you do it because you love it. And if you truly do love it, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, the editing is definitely feels like work, you know. It's like very tedious, you know. That's the nitty gritty, but the fun part is shooting. The fun part is like meeting people like this. So yeah, it's definitely very rewarding. And you know, just like anything, you can't just do it because of the money. You have to do it because you actually enjoy doing it, or else it's just gonna feel like work at the end of the day. It's no different than working a 9 to 5 just for the money. So yeah, I would say that's the pros and cons.
Yeah, 100%. And if you, and that's the thing, a lot of people, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, do the thing that you love, do the thing that you feel like work. The money will naturally follow, because when you do something you love, you're passionate, and you're going to invest those hours. You don't mind working like 80 hours a week doing something you love. So you're going to put the work in, you're going to have the passion, the heart into it. That will naturally breed more money. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Like, you know, I'm like you. I have a 9 to 5 too, right?
Yeah, we all do. Yeah,
you know,
no shame in that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, I had the 9 to 5, and I'm like, oh man, you know, you're at your 9 to 5. It's like, oh man, your heart's not really in it though, right?
Exactly.
You do the content creation though, and that your heart's in that, you know, and it's like I feel like there's more potential with the content stuff, because like you actually love it, and then you're willing to put the more work in than the 9 to 5, and eventually maybe it'll surpass the 9 to 5. You know, that's kind of like the goal, right? You know,
that's the dream. That's the dream. That's what everybody's chasing for. And you know, it'll get there. But yeah, also don't be afraid to, like, you know, you have to adjust. You know, the algorithm, the trends, everything, the social media is changing like faster than it's ever been. So you have to be able to change, and that's why like the artistry drop, you know, we turned it more into an entertainment platform rather than just the podcast. because we figured we could do more than just a podcast. We have more to offer. And by doing those street interviews, we know, that's the type of content that's like going viral right now. That's the type of content people want to see. But yeah, so yeah, you have to be able to adjust at the same time too.
Yeah, it's content creation is very it's a lot of fun, but it's also very like socially taxing on you because
Oh yeah.
right? Because the highs are really high. You build that community and it's like family. It's so much fun. Like George and I have met so many amazing people through our community, other content creators, and that's the fun part of it. But then you get to the dark side, right? Where you do get those haters, right?
Oh, yeah,
and the more you grow and grow and grow, you get the hate and all that stuff. Have you guys experienced any of that like on your channel? Like
yeah, I mean, not really like super hate. I mean, we always get like hate comments, especially on YouTube. For some reason, YouTube Shorts, they love like hating. They just like the first like 3 comments is always like hate comments. They just be talking shit, and like it's some random person, nobody, not a person who even does video, who even uploaded one video on their channel, just some random, right? So it's always negativity, but we've met like fake people. There's not as much. There was a lot of rumors
So you
before
got to meet my ex-wife.
Oh yeah, your ex-wife. Oh damn! And how long were you guys married for? Ex-wife.
10 years.
Whoa, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
After the divorce, I bought myself a cake.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, you're gonna need more than cake. You need a whole bottle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, we've met. We didn't meet as many fake people as we thought. When we lived in Seattle, everybody's talking about LA, how it's full of fake people, full of backstabbers, all this stuff. But maybe it's just the energy that we give out. But like everybody who we've had on the podcast, maybe except for like 1 or 2 guests, everybody has been cool. Everybody has been people who we could see like actually hanging out with after, the cameras are off. So we've been lucky enough to meet a lot of great people and a lot of supportive people. So we haven't met that many haters yet.
That's good. No, that's really good. That's really fortunate. Well, you guys have a really good energy and stuff too.
Yeah.
So that, you guys, like we don't have that many haters either. And I think because like you kind of get what you put out a lot of times, like not to say there's never going to be hate. There's always gonna be some hate. Right. But like, I think that if you just put out a good vibe, I think for the most part, you'll get that back. I think, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Big Sean, he actually said in one of his songs that like, life is like a walking magnet, or you're a walking magnet. You attract all the energy that you put out. And
100%.
I was like,
100%, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
You can have a dude, right?
Right.
And or 2 guys, right? They can be equally as good looking, right?
Right.
And the one dude is all full of confidence. Like he thinks he's like the guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the other person is like the other guy, he can look the same, but he's got no confidence. So they're both putting out very different energy. And both of those guys will have different experiences with women, friends, everything just based on that vibe, based on that energy that they're carrying with them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah. Back in high school, I have a funny story. Back in high school, I hope she doesn't see this, but like I was one of my exes, she was like, I was the nerdy kid who could dance and stuff like that. And I was like a year younger than her, but she was like the cheerleader, the popular, you should always hang out with the popular girls. And then we actually like, dated for like 3 years. And every time I would go to these parties, all the guys would just look at me. They'd be like, how does this ugly guy like get this bomb ass girl? And I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, personality,
They were hating, huh? They were giving you the stink eye.
Those were the haters for sure.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, no, it is. It's all about that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that energy. So it makes a huge difference. Now you mentioned Big Sean. I'm very curious. What kind of music are you into? Like overall,
yeah, I'm definitely more R&B, but I listen to pretty much everything. I'm slowly getting into country, but I listen to EDM. I listen to trap, drum and bass, dubstep back in the day. I think coming from a dance background, I'm very well-rounded and open-minded to that. But at heart, I listen to a lot of like R&B and rap mostly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same way. I grew up on like R&B, hip hop, rap.
Okay.
Lately, I've been kind of dipping my toe, or maybe my whole body, into the K-pop thing. I feel like
K-pop. Yeah.
I didn't think I would like it at all, John. Like honestly, man, my friend like a year ago kind of got me into it, and I was like, kind of like for years I heard about it. I'm like, I'm never gonna like this because I don't speak Korean. Like, how am I gonna enjoy the music?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the lyrics. Started listening to it, man. I'm like a total fan.
Hasn't stopped you before though.
So who's some of your top K-pop artists? I'm curious.
Well, okay, so the gateway into this whole thing was Blackpink, right?
Okay, Blackpink. Okay.
So I got into Blackpink. So I'll always love Blackpink. They're awesome, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Blackpink. I like Kiss of Life.
Kiss of Life. Okay.
Yeah, aespa,
aespa.
XG.
XG. Yeah, I'm all XG right now because I think they're changing the game because they're actually speaking English by keeping that K-pop, girl group, finesse to it. You know, I grew up in K-pop a lot back like in freshman year with like 2PM, Taeyang, and J Park, and you know all of them. So like seeing this next generation and how like it's evolved is crazy.
It's wild, yeah. And like the XG, man. I think that one girl, her name is Kokona, I believe.
Oh yeah. You know,
with the shaved head, man. She can rap. She can rap.
Oh yeah. And I love how they do like the 2000s like flip to it, you know, with their first couple of songs. But whoever their choreographer is, and then you know K-pop, they always do crazy visuals like that music video Shooting Star. I don't know if you watched it from XG.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like the videography, the choreography, the lighting, the outfits, like everything is like in unison. And I was blown away when I first saw that music video. That's when I fell in love. I was like, yep. I started studying them more and more.
Yeah. No, XG is fantastic. Super talented girls. Super talented.
Yeah. I mean, they all are. What they have to go through to even get it selected into the group is crazy.
It's crazy, right? These training programs that they do, right? And then years and years of that. And like most of these girls can like sing, rap, dance, like they just like all rounders, like they can do everything, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's wild. Real quick, and then I'm gonna go to George. Did you by any chance hear any of the new Kendrick stuff that came out today?
Oh yeah, I was listening to it on my way home from work, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. It's different. The beats are definitely he had a lot of like Bay Area type of beats, you know. I haven't really listened in order to like catch the bars and the lyricism yet. I feel like you always have to with Kendrick, like you always have to like re-listen to really get the message, but just like listen to it a couple times, like through and through. Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think?
Oh, I loved it. That one song. I haven't gone through it all yet, but that Squabble Up song.
Oh yeah, because that's been like teased, you know, for a long time. So yeah, I've been waiting for that one to drop. For sure.
Yeah, wake up, reach for the broccoli or whatever. Yeah, love that. I actually have a Kendrick drop on here.
Oh, you did?
Mustard on the beat, ho.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, mustard on the beat.
Mustard on the beat. Oh.
Hi. Mustard on the beat, ho.
There we go. Mr. Italiano, what kind of music do you like, man?
I listen to pretty much anything. Like I'm very eclectic when it comes to music. Like if it's something that I love music with a good beat. Like if it's something that I could dance to, like
so a good beat, like preferably with mustard on it.
There's a song on the Kendrick album. It's called TV Off, and he like literally yells mustard so loud, like you're going Super Saiyan.
What? I haven't gotten to that one.
Cool.
Yet.
Yeah,
I gotta check it out.
You gotta listen to that. It's at the end. It's at the very end.
Okay.
What's the name of that song?
TV Off.
TV Off. Okay.
Yeah, TV Off.
Okay. Cool. I'll check it out. Yeah. Check it out. So George, you're into everything. You like country?
I'll listen to anything: country, R&B, rap, soul, oldies. I'll pretty much listen to anything. Because I mean, you can get any kind of genre that can have a good or a bad song. You know, so if it's a good song, no matter what the genre is, I'll listen to. As far as for K-pop goes, I started getting into it sort of how after the fact OG was getting into it. But I mean, a lot of the times I watch K-pop not to really listen to the music. So.
Okay.
I feel you on that. You know, the visuals.
Yeah, they're all cute for sure.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You know.
No, you can't.
Yeah, so they could sing it in English, they could sing it in Korean, Japanese. I couldn't get
But
it.
you're not listening to the music.
So,
It's
so
more
now
of a
you,
feeling.
yeah, exactly. So John, you mentioned a little bit of country though, huh? You're kind of into the country thing now.
Well, I'm starting to get into it. You know, the girl that I'm talking to right now, she's definitely country, and then she listens to hardstyle EDM. So that's two of the genres that I don't listen to.
Okay.
So she's been kind of like putting me on, and trying to. And honestly, some of the country songs kind of sound R&B. So that's where it kind of gets me because it sounds very soulful,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been dipping my toes a little bit because before I would always say like I listen to everything but country.
Yeah.
That was my go-to line. But times are changing, and I'm getting put
Have you
onto the
ever
culture.
listened to the bar song,
Bar
Shabuzi.
song?
Shabuzi?
It sounds familiar. If you play it, I probably would know it.
Yeah, because I love that song because the way he does it is it has like this kind of like country western twang a little bit, but you
Okay.
can hear that like kind of R&B style mixed in
Okay.
with it as well.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
good. He's good. I'm not a country guy, but I like Shabuzi quite a bit. He's really good.
Shabuzi, okay. Yeah, and I heard like, the country scene is changing too, with like Post Malone, Jelly Roll, I feel like they're definitely, changing the scene of country, typical country. So,
Yeah.
Even
it's definitely like
Beyonce
fusion.
kind of
Oh yeah, Beyonce, yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's interesting. You mentioned, and I think that's kind of cool, John, how you mentioned you're the girl you're seeing right now, the girl you're talking to right now, is into it, but like, or that country, and then you said EDM, right? I believe.
Yeah, it's a certain genre of EDM is called hardstyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's into those two things, and you said, well, those are the two things that you really weren't into.
Yeah.
So then you guys started seeing each other, and now she's kind of bringing you into that fold. I love that, man, because that's really cool about like relationships, like,
Right.
and that's what I love about dating, like outside my own world, like dating like Latinas or Asians or whatever, because you learn about their culture, their food, and it's like it's a satisfying kind of like experience, like just learning about new stuff and kind of going outside of your comfort zone a little bit, right? And I think that's kind of cool when you say that, because like, hey, I'm not, you were saying like I like everything about country, then she comes in and then she's like, well, here, but try this though, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of cool that happened, I thought.
Yeah, it is cool. And as you grow older, you start to appreciate experiencing new things, especially me moving down to LA, like everything is brand new. And I kind of before I used to really not like change. I grew up moving in elementary. I moved to a different high school a different grade school every grade of elementary. So I was always moving and on the go. It wasn't until I should go back a little bit, but I was born in Seattle, and then I moved from Seattle to Fresno, California when I was 3. And then from Fresno, I stayed there until my 7th grade year, and then I moved back to Seattle. So it wasn't until I moved back to Seattle in 7th grade that I actually stayed at the same middle school, stayed at the same high school for all 4 years, and I really got comfortable, growing up with the same people and being in the same area. So moving down to LA was a big change because I finally got to be comfortable in Seattle, and I was like, man, I'm gonna leave everything behind. I was just, I don't like change. I liked everything being the same because everything was changing as I grew up. So I'm like, this is home for once. So when I moved down to LA, that's when I started to appreciate change, and I appreciate new experiences, appreciate, new things in life. So yeah, with music, going back into her showing me into music, I really appreciate it now,
Yeah, because exactly, you never know. Like that was kind of my experience with like the K-pop stuff. Like for years, you hear about it. Blackpink's a big group, right? You always hear about them, or these groups, or like Big Bang, or BTS, right? So I've heard about it, but I'm like, it's probably not going to be my thing. I was closed-minded, and then when my friend got me into it, I was like, oh shit, okay, there's a lot of rap in this stuff. I'm digging this, this is really good stuff, and now I'm a big fan. But that's part of the fun, I guess, of kind of like, trying the new thing, because you just never know sometimes,
Right. And you got to be open-minded too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because I even with me moving out to California, that's where, with my girlfriend, like I never thought that I would have ended up with a Filipina girl. You know, it's
Mm.
like because I've never really met Filipinos. You know, I've
Okay.
known 2 Hispanic kids growing up my whole entire life. That was
Yeah.
it.
Because
Like,
he kind of lives like more of like in a like a little bit more of a rural area of PA.
Okay. Yeah.
So he hasn't had like a lot of experience like with even
no,
Latina.
like Hispanics, Asians, Filipinas, like no, like that was a whole culture shock for me. So to actually now have a committed relationship with a Filipina girl, it's like I could definitely see you know the difference. Like she's very upbeat, fun, very loving as a Filipina girl, and my ex was just a miserable white girl.
Yeah.
Now
Your girl put a little bit of seasoning on you. I see.
Yeah.
Got some hair on your chest. Now you're ready to move down to Cali.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's gonna try actually, like in about a week now, for her birthday. You're gonna try Filipino food for your first time.
Like
at her birthday,
authentic
right?
Filipino food. Yeah.
Like her
Okay,
mom's
good,
cooking
good.
I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, that home cooking, it hits different. You know, I'm not Filipino, even though I look Filipino. But in Seattle, I grew up with a bunch of Filipino, friends and family, and they always feed me. I go to their parties, and it's always very, flavorful. So I probably know a lot of like Filipino. Their language is Tagalog. I know a lot of Tagalog too. So yeah, they're very loving, and their food is like amazing. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Any recommendations for George while going into his first time, like anything like food wise that he should maybe ask for?
Well, definitely in every Asian household, especially Filipinos, you want to finish your plate. Like you don't want to leave nothing left on the plate. If you leave anything, you don't want to throw it away. That's a disgrace. You just finish your plate. Definitely Filipino food. Let's see, like pancit. Pancit is like a noodle dish. Adobo is a classic. It's just like chicken with some like heavy sauce that's almost like a gravy and it has some boiled eggs in there. Adobo is a staple. Lumpia is like their version of an egg roll. Yeah. Lumpia is skinny though. It's not like a thick egg roll, so it's like a skinny egg roll. Lumpia's fire. For soup, they have this like sweet and sour soup called sinigang, and that shit is fire too.
It's everything that you're mentioning. That's what they're making, literally.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Cool.
And they make like little side dishes. So that's one thing that's good. Like they don't just make one entree. It's like an entree with a side dish. So it's like you get a little flavor of everything.
And I also learned too. The custom like of her and her family, they love rice.
Oh yeah. Especially Filipino people, they love garlic rice. It's not just normal rice, especially for breakfast. They make garlic rice and it's so good because it's so flavorful. Garlic rice and spam, it's fire.
Nice. Now you mentioned, John, you're not Filipino. If you don't mind me asking, what's your
I'm a half Lao from Laos and Vietnamese. I mostly take my Lao side. Laos is like right next to Thailand, so we have a lot of the same food, just kind of like a different dialect is how I like to explain it. So yeah, it wasn't until I moved to Seattle, because when I lived in Fresno, all my Asian friends were Hmong, and Hmong people are like kind of travelers throughout Asia, so they don't really have a country to themselves, but all my friends were Hmong. So I didn't know any Lao people. When I would bring traditional food to school, I would be embarrassed because it stinks and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm sure like every Asian has that story as well.
Absolutely. So do you speak Lao or Vietnamese? Or?
No, I only know certain words. One thing that's toxic about my family is like they didn't teach any of the younger generation on purpose, because when they wanted to like spill the tea or talk about drama without the kids knowing, they would speak our language.
Okay.
So none of my cousins know. Nobody knows but the older generation. But I do want to learn the language now because I'm connected to a lot of Lao artists and Thai artists now. So, and getting back into my culture. So yeah, that's one thing I'm working on right now.
That's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
So now you're okay. So I had Corey and Rachel on. the show like about a year ago. We talked all Disney.
Okay, yeah.
Because they were the Enchanted Explorers before, but now I think they're the Eerie Explorers, right?
Right. Yeah, because they're doing ghost hunting, and I've been there for a couple of times too. I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to like ghost hunting, and I'm very like a skeptic. So I believe in ghosts and spirits, but I don't believe everything that I see. So unless like I'm really physically there and I see it for myself, that's when I believe. But yeah, they used to be Enchanted Explorers, live streaming at the parks, but then now they have a baby girl, so they're switching up their content, and yeah, now they're going ghost hunting.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had him on and we talked about parks for like over an hour. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Now you're into the parks too, from what we were talking on in the DMs and stuff. So do you go pretty often, or how often are you there?
I normally go for my birthday in October, like once a year. I really do want to be a Magic Key holder, but with my schedule, with content creation, and also having like 9 to 5 and my videography business, like it's hard for me to make time to even go like once a month or even like once every other month. I feel like you have to in order to make it like worth it. But I normally go for my birthday every year. I just went recently this past October for my birthday, and I went on the Incredicoaster for the first time.
Okay.
And that was I had to have a lot of drinks for sure to get the courage, because I'm not like a roller coaster guy. I can't do Guardians. Never been on Guardians. Space Mountain has always been my favorite.
So John, you and you're my boy. Like George, like how similar is this? Like
very similar. Yeah,
very similar.
OD is like a vibes over rides.
Yeah, I'm a vibe guy. Like I like the atmosphere and stuff like that. But when you were talking about what's interesting though, when you were saying like for Incredicoaster, you had to have some drinks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it's been kind of like back in my head, like I want to experience an Incredicoaster once, but I don't think I could do it. And I've just been like contemplating on it for a while. And have you been on the Mummy at Universal?
Once.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know how it like launches you fast at first?
Yeah.
I got used to that. So I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know because that ride always breaks down too. So I kind of feel like it got slower over time, or maybe I just got used to it. But I was like, oh, okay, it's fast, but it doesn't feel as fast as like Space Mountain. Do you like Space Mountain too?
I can do that one. Yeah, that one's cool.
Okay. Yeah. So that was probably my favorite one. It feels fast and it got some dips and things like that. But surprisingly, the Incredicoaster is not as fast as it looks. Like it's not as fast as the Mummy with the launch. Because you know how the Incredicoaster like launches you at that initial launch. Yeah. It's not that fast. Maybe I was too drunk, but no, it was definitely not as fast as the Mummy. And the drop.
I could understand that from me going on those rides many times, because I am a thrill junkie.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you get a little bit more of the butterflies in your stomach with the Mummy.
Yeah, you do.
Like it kind of like I don't know if it's like the angle of how it shoots you, and then you kind of curve downward, where the Incredicoaster launches you upward.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get a little bit more of that. I don't know, that
butterfly tingling
with the Mummy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you can get past that launch on the Incredicoaster, you're good. Because the rest of it's kind of like you're just kind of like kind of going through it. It's not too big of a deal. It's that launch being like when you went on your first time, John. Like, was it that when you were sitting on the track waiting to launch, was your heart like just like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was yelling the whole time. But the launch doesn't really get me, because I've been on like what you call it, the Mummy and then the Space Mountain too, so I know I'm used to like going fast. But to me, like, I'm scared of heights, and it's the drop that gets me. So I was worried about the 2 drops in that ride.
Okay.
And then also I never been on a loop, so that loop I was like, that's the part that was like holding me back the most, for sure.
That loop, my butthole so tight. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, it's such a weird feeling, right? Going through that thing.
My good friend Mindy, if you were to see her on the Incredicoaster, she literally is like Jekyll and Hyde with that ride. She hates to love it. She loves to hate it. The whole entire ride, she's screaming her head off. I hate this thing. I hate this ride. Why'd you bring me on it? I can't stand this fucking thing. She's literally screaming this while we're on the ride. Then when we get to the little bunny drop, she's like, woohoo, I love this ride.
At the very end, yeah. Those little hills.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. So what's your favorite? So what? Okay, so the whole version, you have DCA, right? Disney, California Adventure. You got Disneyland. Right. What's your favorites? What's your go-to attractions?
Let's see. For DCA, damn, there's so many. DCA. Well, definitely for Disneyland, what you call it, the Star Wars ride, Rise.
Oh yeah,
Rise is my all-time favorite. It was Space Mountain, but Rise like definitely did it. I was not expecting that drop in Rise when I first went on, and it just sends you, and just like the whole experience, just walking onto the ship, seeing the stormtroopers when you first come out, and it's like a whole experience. Even waiting in line and seeing Rey, it's amazing. DCA, man, I don't know. I might be biased, but yeah, but Incredicoaster was like it's pretty up there. I would go again.
Okay,
Have
interesting.
you done, Radiator Springs Racers?
Oh yeah. Radiator was like my all-time favorite for a long time, but I just hate waiting that line. And then recently, Corey told me about the single rider, so we always go on the single rider and get on right away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a cool one too, because it has like a different kind of feeling than like a roller coaster. It's fast, it's thrilling, but it just kind of hits a little different,
Right. What's your guys' favorite rides?
I think that one for DCA. I like Racers. That's my go-to. I don't mess with Mission Breakout. Like I've been on it before. If you
Mission Breakout is my favorite ride in DC.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
That one's crazy, George. I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah, I can't do that. I've never been on it.
Disneyland,
yeah,
if they had the old bobsleds, I would say the Matterhorn, because then you could actually have the woman right on top of you. But
the Matterhorn, George, is that what it is?
But Disneyland,
Indiana Jones,
obviously Indiana Jones, which my girlfriend's dad actually worked on the ride vehicles. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, he helped with it.
Yeah, I went on the Matterhorn for the first time last year, and my back was hurting. I actually lost my hat there, and I didn't know like there's a lost and found or something like that. So I put it in, and they actually, I believe mailed it to me.
Oh, nice.
My hat. Yeah. So
my son lost his phone on there, and they actually shipped his phone back. A lot of people lose a lot of stuff on Matterhorn, but
I bet.
The trick with Matterhorn is you actually, if you ride it like a bobsled, if you lean forward and move with the track, obviously it's still bumpy, but it doesn't hit your back as much.
Got it.
It's funny. It's funny. I had about a little over a year ago, I went to Knott's for like the first time in like 30 years or something.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's cool. There's some parts of it that are really cool, but then there's a lot of like crazy rides. I don't mess with those. But like but I went on, it was a roller coaster, but it wasn't like a crazy one.
Yeah.
So I had like sweatpants on that day, just kind of chilling out, and we go on this little roller coaster, and we get off, and I'm kind of like doing like a check. I'm like, where are my car keys?
Oh no.
Couldn't find my keys. And I went back, they couldn't find them. So when I got home, thank God I went with my friend. So I didn't even drive. So I didn't need my car, you know what I'm saying? So that was cool. But when I got home, I did what you did with Disney, where like I filed a lost and found report or whatever online.
Yeah.
To this day, man, they still haven't found it.
Damn.
I don't know where they went. I don't know what happened. They must have fell in some bush and like they just never came across it.
So did you have a spare? Like how did you?
Yeah, at home. So it was cool. I was able to just use that one instead. But I put it in and they never found it, man. All this time.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But John, really fun conversation, man. You're always welcome back on the channel. Just
thank you, man.
Any topic, anything. It was really good having you on, man.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. The energy, like we were talking about, the vibe is immaculate. So yeah, it doesn't even feel like 45 minutes. It felt like 15. Time was just going by so fast, and we were just vibing. So yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure. And if you could let everybody home know, just remind them where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so my personal channel is John.Sundara, and my business videography channel is jsundara.media on Instagram, YouTube, and yeah, we also have a podcast and an entertainment platform called The Artistry Drop on all platforms as well. So yeah, thanks guys.
There he is, and I'll be linking everything in the description. Now George has like a little spiel that
Okay.
It's like his world famous. Like, go ahead, George. I'll let you take it.
It literally is my world famous spiel because everybody that bumps into me in the parks, they ask me to do it all the time.
Oh, really? Okay.
I love hearing it. Yeah, but it became a thing. So
okay.
Yeah, if everyone would like to find me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, @DisneyGeorge. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There he is. And
I like the sticky.
Sticky.
Bye.
We even have a sticky drop for the sticky thing, you know?
Okay, that was real sticky. I wasn't listening to the music like at that time. I was being a George.
Absolutely. But George, thank you. John, thank you so much for coming on, brother. And everyone at home, thank you for watching. Comment down below with all your thoughts and everything that we discussed today. Comments, questions, we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of OG55.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.